Well, Pete, always good to sit down and have these conversations, especially considering the distance since we've had our last one. First of all, I want to start initially with Real Bedford Netball, which was
Yeah,
a nice introduction into the Real Bedford family a couple months ago. Tell me how about that deal came about and the sort of ins and outs of what that will look like for Real Bedford.
yeah, it's a really interesting project for us to get involved in. I've known Emma Stevens, who was part of Team Beds for quite some time, and she reached out to me. They just wanted some kind of like ideas and support for what they want to do. So I met with her and Hayley, who runs Team Beds, and heard about the project's incredible, the amount of work they do and they put in to support Bedford in the town. And as a side thing, I've always been interested on, if you go onto the Barcelona website, you have Barcelona football, basketball, handball. So they have the range of sports. And I always thought that was really neat to wrap a number of sports under a team. So the more I heard about what they were doing, the more I wanted to get involved and support them because, as you know, I want to help as many people in Bedford as possible. And so I just pitched an idea to them that we would become a partner, we would sponsor them, provide some new kits, and in return they would become Real Bedford Netball. And there's a bunch of other stuff, like we'll help them with social media. Well, you're helping them with social media. We'll help them with their website. But I just feel like as a brand, Real Bedford, it becomes stronger the more sports that are under it, the more people it's helping, and it helps us and it helps them. And so, yeah, really cool idea. I can't wait to go down and see them playing in the skull and crossbones of Real Bedford and representing what we're doing. And I hope there will be more sports that come under this. I'm interested by any sport that wants to play under the Real Bedford brand.
On that note, before we go on to more footballing matters, the Bedford Future Fund as well officially launched
Yep.
a couple of weeks ago, and we've had some really exciting names that have already been announced as receiving grants for their sort of sporting endeavours. That must be a real sort of feather in the cap for you at the moment at this point in time.
Yeah, look, I've been very lucky with over the last few years the things I've been able to do. Just I couldn't have started this project without the support of the sponsors that have helped Real Bedford, and Cameron and Tyler Winklevoss have been very supportive. And so I think it's always good to pay it forward a little bit. We put on a conference here in Bedford in April. We sold out the Corn Exchange and we made a profit. And so we decided to put the majority of that profit into the Bedford Future Fund to help young talented people who maybe have got things they want to pursue. And we are in a tough economic climate at the moment. We have been through a period of high inflation, and we know when you go through periods of high inflation, it's the middle and the lower classes that get squeezed. And so there is a strain on family budgets. But we don't want me and you and everyone involved in Real Bedford, we don't want that to be something that stops talented people achieve their best. And we've had so many applications. It's actually quite heartbreaking because you have to say no occasionally. But we've sponsored originally Eloisa Cole, which was prior to actually setting up the fund. We helped her. She's a swimmer. We've motor racing driver, Valentino. We've got a table tennis player, a tennis player, a high-performing judo athlete. I don't know what you say, judo player or judo athlete.
Judoka, yeah.
Is it judoka?
Judoka.
Oh, there you go. I've got another one I'm about to announce, which is in the creative arts. We've supported somebody with who wants to skill up in terms of security skills and support a family. So there's a bunch of people we've been able to help. We also had a random benefactor get in touch and send us £25,000 to go into the fund, so that increased the size of the fund by £50,000. But yeah, it's very cool, and just a big thanks to everybody who's helped us do this, because if the people hadn't come to our event in Bedford, we wouldn't have been able to do it. And so I hope we can keep topping that up and helping people.
On to more recent news and something that was announced a couple of days ago, a really exciting deal for the club. Gemini announced a 5-year deal for the front of shirt for the men's team. Obviously £500,000 paid up front in Bitcoin. on the surface, of course, an incredible deal, but the further you delve into this arrangement, you can understand just how exciting and formidable it is, really, for the club's immediate and long-term future.
Yeah, look, one of the things that we had to do when we built this club is everyone knows the trajectory. Everyone's heard me talk about, we'd like to get in the Football League and ultimately the Premier League. And naturally, people have laughed at us and said, you're ridiculous, Pete. What are you on about? You've got 40 fans and your stadium's falling apart. But it was still the goal. And we knew that to move through the leagues, we had to be in a very good position economically. And that required a business plan that meant we not only would grow fast through the leagues, actually grow fast as a business. And so we didn't think of ourselves as a local football club. We thought ourselves as a more like the Premier League clubs who have an international fan base. Again, sounds ridiculous, but what we've built is a local and international audience. And our international audience is far bigger than our local audience. You just see the merch we've sold. I reckon we've sent merch to over 50 countries. We've sold thousands of pieces of merch, hundreds of thousands of pounds of merch, because we've built this brand that people follow us around the world. We stream the games. And then because of that, when we start looking at sponsorship deals, we're not like our competitor set who, in a tough position where maybe they're trying to find a local company to sponsor them who might be paying 5, 10, 20 grand to sponsor the team. We wanted significant sponsorships and significant shirt deals. So we've built, what sponsors are looking for, one of the primary things is they're looking for reach and awareness amongst the target audience. So we've built the target audience, and we've built the reach, and so now we have a piece of real estate that we can sell. And so Jim and I sponsored the club for the first 2 years. They're very happy with the deal. I went back and approached them about a longer term deal. One of the mistakes I made as a chairman was trying to do deals every year, and you soon realise you've got this small window from the end of the season to the start of the next season to get the deal done and then get all the sponsored services set up and artwork created. So we started to look at more longer term deals, 2+1 deals, 3-year deals. And so I just approached Marshall about the idea of a new 3-year deal. And in the meeting, we actually weighed up a 3-year deal at £450,000, so £150,000 a year, or a 5-year deal paid in Bitcoin, £500,000 up front. Knowing what I know about Bitcoin and knowing what I know about government money printing, the longer 5-year deal paid in Bitcoin up front was a much better deal for us because that money will sit in our treasury, and I'm almost certain by the end of the deal that that £500,000 would be worth more than £500,000. So no, it's a good deal. I really appreciate their support, their long-term support for what we're doing, and it really suits our ethos of being a Bitcoin club to take the money in Bitcoin and put it in our treasury, and also it just protects us against where we are economically. We're about to get a new government tomorrow, I think. So I don't know when this is going out. We might already have it by now. I'm sure they're going to increase taxes significantly, which is going to stall growth. When they stall growth and their tax revenues drop, they're going to increase money printing. And when they increase money printing, ultimately we're going to see inflation. We've seen this cycle again and again and again. We as a football club with a long-term vision, we have to protect ourselves against these, I call them vultures, these vultures in government. We have to protect ourselves, and the way to protect your income is to hold Bitcoin. So there's so many different reasons make it a good deal for us, and I still think there's a lot of people in football who still don't understand it. Actually, somebody even said on Twitter, are there any regulations around this with the FA? And somebody replied back, I don't think they understand it. I think a lot of people don't, but I think we put in the press release, if any football clubs want to understand more about this, we would make ourselves available and explain it. But no, it's a good deal, but we've got an amazing front of shirt deal for the ladies side. We've got back of shirts, sleeves for both teams, training sponsors. We've got a lot of good sponsorships that we've closed this year, which I think you'll be announcing over the coming weeks.
We will be indeed. Focusing on some more on the pitch matters, because this is an extremely exciting time for fans of Real Bedford, and that's what we are first and foremost. as we see players walking through the door of some really, really high calibre for both the men's and women's teams this season. A few that have already been announced. Let's start initially with the women's team. We've already spoken about the calibre that someone like Amber Gaylor brings in.
Yep.
We've got Kiara Miola, Gemma Biggerdike, Emily Wilson and Trisha Gould, who have also been announced. I mean, this is turning out to be a really, really exciting squad for the women's team, and of course, we've only just got started.
Yeah, look, incredible. It's a big challenge for Charlie Bill coming in, the new manager we appointed. Him and his staff, we've set them the goal of trying to win the league. And there are additional challenges in women's football in that you only have one team go up, there's no playoffs. So second is same as coming in 11th at the end of the season. Kind of means for nothing if you want promotion. But the jumps are bigger. I would say one jump in the women's pyramid is 2 or 3 in the men's. They're big jumps. There's some big sides in this division we're going into. Norwich, QPR. I mean, Norwich had a fantastic season, only just missed out on promotion. I don't think they lost a game until right at the end. They did. I know they had a number of draws, but it's a tough league. And yeah, I've said to Charlie, we'd like to challenge for promotion. We don't have to win it. Progress would be great, but we'd like to be up there challenging. And the standard of player we've got to join our current crop's been it's incredible. I mean, Amber Gaylor is ridiculous. We know her because she played against us for Billericay in the FA Cup last year, and she ran the game, and she was unbelievable. I think she scored like a 30-yarder with her left foot. Great player. I also saw Trisha play, so I'd been down to watch MK Dons a couple of times. Me and Jezza went down to watch the Dons play Cardiff when our women didn't have a game last year. Again, Trisha was unbelievable. Scored 2 goals. She was like Mo, just running down the wing, causing all kinds of mayhem. Everyone knows the standard of both Emily Wilson and Gemma Biggerdike. I obviously know the other players that we are yet to announce, which I won't say here because I don't want to spoil the surprise. I can't wait for Sunday. Got an away friendly against Maidenhead. Excited to see them play. Excited to see the season start. It's going to be a challenge. It's going to be a challenge for us on our side because they've come from Dons, which certainly their men's side is a lot more professional, much higher up the leagues and much better infrastructure than we've got. So trying to give them as best we can to support both the players and the management team for what they need is a challenge for us. But I'm fully engaged. I'll be at every training session and match I can be just to lend them the support, and I wish them the best. I'm very confident.
On the men's side, we have announced 2 new arrivals in Jack Morrell and Callum Nicholson. Again, there are a few that have been they're waiting in the wings, but we've already spoken many a time about the work that Rob Sinclair does at times like this in the season. Obviously, a very different story to our women's. This is his 3rd time round working a new season at Real Bedford. And it seems to be going from strength to strength. Yeah,
look, I can't speak more highly of Rob. He's the only person I know who works as hard as me. We've built a very, very good working relationship over the last 2 years. I can't even believe it's 2 years that have gone now. We're in this 3rd season. I think what's most exciting for me as a chairman, watching from the outside, is Rob's now had the time to really embed his playing style ethos. And the team we had last year was excellent. We won the league, 6 points? Even with a little wobble, we won it by 6 points. Even with a draw in the final game against Sawbridgeworth, where I think everyone kind of, accepted we'd already won it. But he hasn't had to bring too many people in. It's like fine tweaking, strengthening, but looking at who Rob's brought in, I saw Jack Morrell play for Biggleswade a couple of times last year. Excellent player. I'm trying to remember the game where they were 1-0 down and he was pinging balls in across the field. He's just a superb player. Callum's a whippet. He's so quick. Just great signings. I obviously know the other ones. So again, confident, cautious. It's a tough league. There's some good teams in there. And there's teams who are going to want to beat us. You can pick 10 who probably straight away are saying we expect to be up in the playoffs. Every promotion is a lot harder, a lot more competitive. Burko are building solid side. I'd like us to be up there challenging again, same as ever, up there challenging, having a go at trying to win the title, if not the playoffs. But it's very exciting, and I think we're seeing now the benefit of Rob having 2 years in there now to really embed his ethos and playing style. And it's also great to see the coaching team expand, to see Charlie Smith become part of that coaching team. That's very cool. Both sides, very excited. I'm proud of the hard work you, Emma, Neil, Connor, everyone's done in the background to get us ready for the season, to enable me to go out there and do the commercial work, which means we can support both managers with the resources they need. But yeah, it's very exciting.
And of course, the pre-season schedule gets underway this weekend.
Yep.
It feels like only days ago that we were celebrating with trophy lifts. But the first few occasions for both these teams to play at McMullen Park is getting ever closer. Obviously, in a fortnight time for our men's team when they play Kettering, and a couple of weeks until Fulham head to town for Real Bedford ladies. A chance for us to open up the McMullen Park gates again and get people back involved at the club, where it feels like there's a real buzz around Bedford towards the Pirates.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's a number of things you can touch on there. Firstly, I'm going to be away, unfortunately, from the 13th for a couple of weeks. So I'm going to miss a few friendlies. It's the one small window I can get on a holiday and get out and do a last bit of work ready for the season. I've got to go up to Nashville and do some work with the podcast and see some sponsors. But yes, it's very exciting. Pre-seasons are always strange, though. Well, I mean, we've never had very good pre-seasons, and yet had excellent seasons afterwards. And I think that what that is the managers are pushing the teams to play against the best caliber possible to really test us. And so I find pre-season really strange. I'm excited by the games, but equally not excited because I want the real games. When you're playing for points or you're playing for the next round of a cup. But it's going to be great for the players to get back out there, great for the fans to come back and see the new signings. We've got some great fixtures. I mean, Kettering is a great fixture. I'm sad to be missing that. Fulham is a great fixture. I think both teams have done a really good job of getting a really competitive set of friendlies together. And we will be selling season tickets. If you come down, get yourself a season ticket, support us. We've sold record season tickets, actually. I think we're about 48 already, which is great. But no, look, it's all exciting. I mean, my headspace is totally in August, ready for the season, because my job and your job is to get people through the door, get people following online. That's where we deliver the commercial return for the business. And so pre-season is really interesting because I'm excited just to have football back, but I want the season.
Let's talk a bit about some other projects that are bubbling in and around Real Bedford. I know in our last talk we spoke about the exciting venture of Real Bedford Coffee. I know you'll have some updates for fans as to the progress of that. Yeah,
just bureaucracy is holding us back as ever. We wanted to be open for August, but we're not there yet. But we've got the venue. A lot of the interior design work's been done. Connor's been sourcing all the samples of our cups and various things. We've agreed who our coffee supplier is. So we've done all the prep work. It's just about getting access to the building now and completing the design. But those who didn't see it, we are opening a club shop in town. It will double up as a coffee shop because you probably don't sell enough merch to justify it. But there will be a Real Bedford base on the high street in the town. And so that's probably going to be more likely September's time now, which is a shame. Really wanted it for the start of the season. But it's a cool project. Connor's beavering away getting that done. And I think people, when they see it, they'll like it. And hopefully maybe become a pre-match drinks place. Mm-hmm. We've asked for an alcohol license. Yeah. We would like to put on a supernova and maybe one wine. So hopefully we'll get the alcohol license. And it'll be a cool place for Real Bedford fans to hang out, to promote the club. To the people in the town and maybe sell a few more shirts.
And I know fans will also be keeping a keen eye on the lease situation, which has been, of course, bubbling away throughout the course of the last 18 months in particular. Can you provide any update to fans as regards to that?
Not too much. Mm-hmm. I mean, what can I say? we are doing everything we can to provide both the mayor and the council with everything they need to give us the lease extension we require until we're ready to move to a new ground, which is a multi-year project. There is no sense in stopping this Real Bedford freight train. It is good for the town, demonstrably good for the town. It's put it on the map. We are getting promotions. We are supporting people. I've said this stuff over and over. It's very obvious we're good for the town. I think we're getting much closer now to having an agreement, but we've been here before, multiple occasions, and we've been rugged. So Neil is working very hard in the background. Hopefully, by the start of the season, it will be sorted.
And after all of that, I think it's a fitting time to be able to talk to people about getting them to be part of it, as our season ticket promotion has been describing. It's after all that conversation, a very exciting time for the club, and there's still an opportunity for people to get their hands on a multitude of season tickets. You can maybe talk us through the different bundles and available, because you can be with Real Bedford for the long haul over the course of the 24-25 campaign.
Well, look, I think it's feasible for the town of Bedford to have a team in the Football League within a decade. It was 6 promotions in 10 years that we set out to do. We've done 2, so it's now 4 more in 8 years. We've now added our women's side. Our goal for them is the championship within a decade. So that's 2 more promotions in a decade. In 8 years. But there are some significant challenges around that. The championship license, it's tough. We would have to have our women's side full time. We need better facilities. So we have to give ourselves time to put in what's required. But we put out there what the goals and the ambitions of the club are. And so far we've kind of delivered. Rob has delivered back-to-back promotions, and I'm sure he'll be up there challenging this year. The ladies won a treble last year, and I'm sure they'll be up there challenging this year. This only works if it's commercially successful. I've said from the very start, people have to accept a football club is 2 things, a brand and a business as well. And the brand and the business drive what the football club can do, unless you've got some super rich chairman who wants to put the money in. And whilst we have Cameron and Tyler, they're not going to throw money at this like crazy idiots. They are going to invest based on the potential. So I think we've delivered on our side as best as possible. We have created the brand, created the ethos, grown the media, which you've done, infrastructure work by Neil, operations by Emma, creative by Connor, Kurt now heavily involved on the creative output of the media, me on the sales for the merchandise and sponsorships. We've done everything we can. This project will only work if people come through the gate. That's a reality for a number of reasons. It has to for the women's side to get the championship license. I think you have to have a crowd of average of 1,000 to get that license. But if you go and look at our budget, a certain percentage of our budget comes from people coming to the ground on a match day, buying tickets, a burger, and a beer. I think it's about 25% of our budget. I'll have to check. And so we've managed so far to grow our crowds quite well. When we took over, it was 40 a game. The year before last, we averaged 180, and I think we had a top crowd of about 320. Last year, we averaged 259 and a top crowd of over 1,000. This year, we want to average over 350, 400 really, and we'd like to have a top crowd of 2,000. We'd like to do a sellout. Now, I think all of those are possible, but they're only possible if the people watching or listening come to games. So I do appeal, if you want to have a side in Bedford that's in the Football League, and if your kids play football, and especially for Real Bedford or Bedford Park Rangers, or if you're part of Real Bedford Netball, we need your help. We need you coming to games and coming regularly and bringing your friends and family and buying yourself a burger and a beer. It's your support that will make this possible. So I don't know about you, I harass people everywhere I go. Because people always asking Will about the team. They're like, and I'm saying, have you been? And if they're no, I'm like, why not? And I just constantly harass people to get them to come because 1, we need it, and 2, I find people enjoy it. Mm-hmm. And so we have got a number of season tickets available. We've got, you can have a season ticket to either the men's or the women's. You can have bundles. So we've got bundles for men's and women's, concessions as well. We've even got a family bundle. We've got the membership cards are in. Kids are still free, but if you want a membership card, it's a £5. And if you get a membership for your Yeah, child for, I think, men's and women's, it's $7.50. We just charge for the card and delivery. But the season tickets are there. If you want to come every game, please get a season ticket. If not, just come to as many games as you can. Support what we're doing. We can't do this without you. It makes it a lot better experience for everyone at the game. It makes it better for the players, and it makes it more commercially viable. So please come support us.